What's going on, guys? BossUp86 here, back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing Season 2 of the Lost Tapes Retrospective. Now, last time when I talked about Season 1 was pretty good for the most part. There were some duds here and there, but overall, very, very, very intriguing stuff. Season 2, it's my favorite season of Lost Tapes. There's no if and or buts about it. It's a lot of people's favorite season. Some people say Season 1 is the best. And there's some people say that Season 3 is the best. We'll get to Season 3 here shortly. But overall, fun season. Now, if you do hear some weird stuff in the background, it's because one of my producers wanted to chime in, but she's probably going to be going out of my room because she wants to get out. What did you think about Season 2 of Lost Tapes? She's not very well spoken. She likes it. Her favorite episode is probably, I don't know. Didn't you say you like the Jersey Devil? You hate me, don't you? Okay, you're going to get out. You're going to be let out. Oh. But yeah. Anyways, without wasting time, let's get into episode 1 of season 2. Now, before I get into the first ever episode, I would like to bring another prop that I've used before on this show. And just bear with me here. I brought my good old buddy Steve with me. Now, you may be wondering why the hell I brought in Steve here. Well, it's because this episode is the scariest episode of Lost Tapes, in my opinion. I made a video I'd say a year and a half ago, and it talked about top 14 scariest Lost Tapes episodes. The quality of that video is absolute ass, and my quality in videos have matured, but I talked about the episode Vampire. Holy Christ! This episode is terrifying as shit. Holy hell on a hillside. I cannot, for the life of me, watch this episode without the feeling of being watched. I swear to you, I cannot watch this episode and not scream as the goddamn thing. It is not a vampire, it is a thing coming out of that kid's room and taking a stuffed animal. Now, before I get into that, basically a family moves into an old house due to the dad with the financial issues and all that stuff. And they move into a house and the kid's very skeptical about it because, well, shit goes on and his parents are watching. He's hearing shit happening in the attic and, hearing stuff down in the basement. Well, his parents, have cameras around because he's been sleepwalking a lot. And, well, they capture one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen. Now, the costume for the vampire is not an actual vampire. This ain't Dracula or hell even Nosferatu. This looks like a rabid lion that got bit and it's going ape shit everywhere. But holy criminy, this episode is terrifying. The effects are horrifying. The costume design is very cheesy, but it's effective. The scares are terrifying. From the beginning of this episode, when the first person that gets attacked in the gas station, it just intensifies. Even the calmer scenes, I still get chills from it. That's how intense this episode is. The guy getting attacked in the basement is horrifying, beyond belief. The, last 5 minutes is some of the most shit your pants, scariest moments you will ever witness on a TV show. It is intense, it is terrifying, and it is, by God, the most horrifying thing I have ever seen on a TV show. Bar none, and I've seen a lot of horror movies in my life, and I've seen a lot of horror shows. This one takes the cake. I'm sorry. this episode is so goddamn traumatizing. And I think Smaug would agree with it. So yeah, vampire, horrifying. Flat out horrifying. Now that everything has calmed down, I'm going to put Steve away for a minute until I have to use him again. Next up, we have Lizard Man. This one's a pretty good one as well. Basically, a bunch of reporters go down into a sewer to go capture a kitten. A couple firefighters join along with them. Well, little do they know they're getting, stalked and attacked by the swamp, or by, not swamp man, by the lizard man of Oak Swamp, or whatever the hell you say. That's what the cryptid, the legend is. This is very, very interesting, and I would have liked to see them do another sewer setting again. Mainly because of the claustrophobia, and kind of like the aliens vibe, kind of like the cave demons vibe that you get when you're watching this episode. It's claustrophobic. It's kind of terrifying when the lizard man pops out. The effects are goddamn horrifying. But good stuff, good effects. I would have liked to see what happened to the one reporter, but instead we saw what happened to the lady, but the dude got mauled, but we never got to saw him, which kind of pissed me off. The one thing I will say that kind of sucks, the ending's so bullshit. The ending is complete bullshit. You have a firefighter that gets stuck and he can't get out, and the thing is coming up towards him. So, hold on. Sorry, I had a hair on my phone. Don't think that was weird, but the swamp, the lizard man is coming towards them. So the one firefighter grabs an axe, has a fight with them, and then you get to the point where, the swamp, the swamp creature thing just ate, the lizard man killed the firefighter. No! The freaking lizard died! He died from an axe! That is bullshit! You're telling me that the lizard man basically killed like 400 kittens and God and everyone, and yet he gets freaking decapitated by a guy with an axe. That's kind of bullshit in my opinion, but good stuff. It was claustrophobic. It got you into a very, dense and condemned atmosphere. Good effects, good scares. The music was added if necessary. And the effects, God, jeez, the effects were brutal. So yeah, good stuff. We're going to keep that train a-moving. We have Southern Sasquatch. This is probably the best Bigfoot episode. Simply due to the fact it's got a good blend of comedy and horror. Basically, two southern boys take their brother-in-law hunting while unadmittedly being stalked by the Southern Sasquatch. Which, sweet Christ, this episode is violent. This is one of the few violent episodes where you're like, okay, that's a bit much over there. Where is this going? The effects, the gore elements are brutal. This is a brutal Bigfoot episode. This ain't the only brutal Bigfoot episode, trust me. We'll get to that one when we get to season 3, but holy God, this episode's just violent. The way these guys get torn to shreds is just violent. The stuff that they talk about with the Southern Sasquatch, very intriguing, very intriguing. They have very good facts. Good stuff. Again, the comedy aspects are pretty damn funny. But then when it gets to horror, it doesn't shy away from horror. Oh, no, it doesn't. The thing that kind of drags it down a little bit for me is the ending. The ending is such a troll, and it pisses me off. So, the one guy, gets just bitch slapped, essentially. And then the final guy, the brother-in-law, runs and goes to the tree stand and tries to hide. He goes to it, ladder's ripped. And then the Southern Sasquatch kills him. Bullshit! Again, we have 2 bullshit endings in a row. It's kind of like the Extreme Rules 2021 pay-per-view. Again, bullshit ending to a very good episode. If this episode had a proper ending, this may be one of the top. This is my top 5, but this may have been in my top 3 in my opinion. Good stuff, very good stuff. Next up, we have Werewolf. Oh Lord in heaven, this one's just weird. This one's weird. It's weird. The visuals are terrifying, but this is weird. Basically, this thing called the Beast Killer has been killing people for numerous amount of years, and eventually, a filmmaker named Austin Pace and a couple of investigators are going after this man who presumably is called the Beast Killer. Well, it turns out that things don't always look as they seem. Well, it turns out, spoiler, is that when they find a girl named, I think, Selena, I think that's what her name is. Turns out she's actually the Beast Killer. Okay, first of all, I kind of saw that twist coming because when they saw the cuts on her, there was some weird shit going on with the lights flickering and stuff. And when they eventually found out the guy was not, the guy that's been doing this, and it turns out that it was actually the girl, yeah, I kind of saw that coming a mile away. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. That wasn't happening when they were up there before. So, yeah, besides that, the visuals are terrifying. Like, the images they use for the werewolf are pretty damn scary. Now, the transformation scene's kind of weird, because it looks like she's turned into a vampire. And my God, I can't get the image out of my head with how the freeze frame is. But my Lord, I remember seeing this, and I talked to my dad about it, and I was just slugging down peas like the Dickens. It was weird. It was weird. I was 7 at the time. Give me some slack. But, again, episode's very weird. This episode is weird. But I love it. I love this episode. Very good stuff. We're on a roll here. Oh. Then we get Deathcrawler. God damn it, we were on such a good roll. Okay, let's make one thing clear. This is not Nightcrawler by Judas Priest. This is the dumbest version of a centipede I've ever seen. It's basically a giant centipede, where these 2 people who are weird, how the hell you say it? Arthropologist, there you go. I think that's how you say it. I don't know how to... I don't speak English good. I don't know what science is. But these kind of arthropologists are going on to this weird trip in a forest, and the husband gets attacked by it. These 2 are such idiots. I'm sorry, these 2 are so dumb. And that's kind of the thing about the show. The characters are outright stupid. A little smartness wouldn't kill you there. Don't worry, we'll get to some smart people here in a little bit, but... My God, this episode's just dumb. The only cool thing I could say is that when the lady finds the tape where to find the medical supplies, and it goes back into, like, 1999 or the late 90s, and the Spanish people get attacked, okay, that was pretty cool. The effects are dumb. The effects are so stupid. There's like a million of these things. One of them manages to crawl onto the boat, and it manages to kill them while they're on shore. This episode's stupid. The dumbest part is, the lady dropped the machete and everything. She took the med kit and effed off and so she could heal her husband. This episode's dumb in so many ways, and it kind of pisses me off. It ain't terrible, but it's still kind of blah, and it doesn't help the fact that the characters weren't interesting whatsoever. So yeah, it had some good ideas, it's just piss poor execution, so yeah. But it ain't the worst in Season 2. As much as I love Season 2, White River Monster is my least favorite episode. This is dumb. Now, okay, the characters themselves aren't particularly dumb. The old guy, he's actually kind of cool. Two friends hook up with a old guy, not like that. But they meet a guy and they go catfish noodling, which, if you don't know, is one of the dumbest sports you'll ever hear. Basically, you stick your hand in a hole, not her hole. Who is her hole? Who knows? And they, and a catfish grabs onto it and you pull the fish out. Dumbest sport ever. I've heard a lot of dumb sports. But essentially, this thing is supposed to be like 40 foot long. It's in a small ass pond. Excuse me, a small ass pond. I got the hiccups now. Excuse me for a minute. Sorry about that. I had to get some water and I feel a lot better now. From a paleontological standpoint, this episode is god-awful. Episode's god-awful. The fish is a piranha. It is a piranha that managed to have Down syndrome, essentially. This is stupid. The old guy gets knocked off, and then I think the black guy died, but he didn't die first, so they kind of skipped that trope. But overall, and the one guy that gets stuck foot between a literal rock and a hard place, a rock and a log, the thing hits it and sets him free, and he goes away scot-free. What? You're gonna tell me you mauled the old guy and then you mauled the black guy, but you keep the white one alive? Okay, then. This episode is stupid. It's my least favorite. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's still pretty bad. The way they talk about it is so convoluted. And it's a giant-ass fish in a small-ass pond. That thing's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. But the next episode redeems itself. The Jersey Devil. This thing is gigantic. This thing is the size of a 2-ton bus. Sweet God almighty, this episode's weird. Again, kind of like with Werewolf. This episode is weird. But weird in a good way. Now, a family of 4, presumably 5 if you count the dog, and a pregnant mother, they go on a little trip, and they basically run into a stream of bad luck. They hit their car with something. It looks like a dog or something like that. And the dog runs off because it saw something, and the dad goes after the dog. Now, the mother and the 2 daughters, they stay, and they presumably get chased by the frickin' Jersey Devil. Okay. And then they run into a house that has like a bunch of satanic stuff. Like it talks about the number 13 and how the Leeds family and the 13th child was let it be the devil, and it turns out that the baby had wings and shit, and that's how genetics work apparently. Again, another weird episode, but it actually kind of works. So anyways, the dog dies, which, again, I gotta drag down a little bit because the dog dies. But, the thing kicks open the door and everyone goes into hiding. And then one of the teenagers' cell phone starts ringing. Again, another horror movie trope that is so cliche. So, you get to see the thing, it looks like a goat. But a demonic goat. Like, I swear if the goat had a ritual, that's what it turned out to be. The pregnant mother kicks the shit out of it, essentially, with the 2x4. The thing goes away, and then the mother presumably goes into labor, essentially. Well, turns out like 3 scenes later, she's running. That's not how pregnancy works, lady. If you are in labor, you might as well just give birth right then and now. And then their car just starts working out of nowhere. There's some continuity errors I had to point out. Then they drop their camera, and you see the Jersey Devil's feet or its hooves, and that's how the episode ends. Again, it's kind of weird, but I really enjoy it because it just kind of, the intense factor, and the fact that, sweet Christ, that makeup right there. So yeah. Not the best looking back on it, but it's still pretty damn fun. I hear some people say it's a bad episode. Not particularly. I saw one guy that put it as his number 1 worst. I'm like, really? You have some weird choices there, my friend, but yeah, I think it's good. Next up, we have Alien. No, we're not talking about the xenomorph, we're not talking about the extraterrestrials. This is a alien-like, wasp-like creature. Now, looking back on it, when I initially watched this episode, I kind of hated it because I'm like, man, we didn't get an alien like the extraterrestrials, or the gray people, or as some people would say. But looking back on it, this is actually one of my favorite episodes. I like this episode. Basically an astronaut comes from space after a long ass trip, and she brings an alien life form. The doctors do tests on her because she got pulled over because she had like a DUI or some shit, and she was feeling weird. She has multiple heartbeats, and she's got a weird skin condition, and she's rotting from the inside, and the makeup effects are goddamn horrifying. This woman looks like she is literally rotting as we are watching. Brutal images, very brutal. And then Chestburster, not as cool as the Alien film, but it's still pretty unique. And then Thing attacks people, attacks one of the doctors, and the other horrifying thing is that the woman is having the camera way close to her face. We don't need to see all that makeup, please. Seriously, there's a point where it's like up here and up here. I'm like, Jesus Christ, woman. We know you have big lips. You need to scoot at least 2 feet. But the one thing that is kind of funny is I've seen people like LMAO. I just think that's absolutely hilarious. I think it's called LOL tapes, and I think it's just absolutely hilarious. But overall, fun stuff. And then it gets released after the lady is getting followed by the thing. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's fun. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And LMAO. Next up, we have Bear Lake Monster. Basically, a bunch of girlfriends go out and they have a party, and I will be frank, the first half is pretty boring. It is boring, annoying, and goddamn generic. However, when the Bear Lake Monster, which is proven to be a hoax, a weird, again, alligator-like hybrid, when it starts attacking them, that's when shit starts to get real. The one lady, yeah, she's kind of an idiot because she's out in the water and she gets dragged by the thing. And then when the Bear Lake Monster starts knocking them one by one, that's when things started getting really intense. And guess what? They are smart! Hooray! We actually have smart people for once in this entire show. They make smart decisions. They try so many things to outmaneuver this Goliath of a creature, and some of them walk away scot-free, but majority of them die. And when they get attacked, you get the sense that, holy shit, this is actually kind of terrifying. So yeah, it's not the best, but it's not the worst either. It's pretty solid in my opinion. And then the last one, we have Dover Demon. Good lord, this episode's just insane throughout. Now, the Dover Demon doesn't look like the actual Dover Demon. It looks like just a regular alien-like creature. But holy god, the intensity in this episode just never lets up. From the opening of that badass intro, you are immediately in the presence of, oh yeah, this episode's gonna be good. This episode's gonna be good. Now, unlike the Hellhound, when it just had a great intro and a pretty good, ending, and everything else was just a bunch of bullshit, this had a great intro and a fantastic ending with a lot of good stuff in between. So basically, a bunch of people go and try to, film the Dover Demon, when in reality, the actual thing is attacking them. And, trying to prove that it's a hoax or trying to prove it's real when the real thing is attacking them. Sweet Lord, this episode's pretty violent. The ending is, oh my god, this is somber as hell though. Because when you get the first glimpse of it, when the guy turns on night vision and the thing is in the background, I'm like, okay, that's weird. That's weird. And another thing that really gets me is towards the end, where the one guy falls and hurts his leg, and then the girlfriend goes down, and she's like trying to confront him and shit. She grabs a shotgun. The thing is basically stalking them. Terrifying visual. The music only adds to the weirdness. She grabs a shotgun, shoots at it, and then proceeds to get mauled by it. And that's how the episode ends. It is brutal. It is very sad towards the end. And it is goddamn creepy. This episode is creepy as hell. So yeah. Dover Demon. Very good episode. So, that wraps it up here, folks. Thank you for watching this Season 2 retrospective of Lost Tapes. I'll be doing Season 3 in not too long distant future. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. What is your favorite, your least favorite, and your creepiest episode of Lost Tapes Season 2? Let me know in the comment section below. Join the herd. I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace out.